my name is Chelsea Powell. This is my clicker conditioning project. The first thing I had to do is condition my dog Zoe. She is a 4-year-old spayed mutt. I think she's some sort of Boston Terrier pit bull mix, so I'm not completely sure. I had to condition her to the clicker, so what I did was I clicked the clicker and gave her a treat, and that associated getting a treat every time she heard the click. So after a number of times of doing that, I can then click during a behavior that she does and give her a treat, and then she starts to associate the behavior with the treat as well. So the first behavior I trained with Zoe was to sit and look at me, which she's doing very well right now. It's a free shaping behavior. She already naturally sat, so I would just click whenever she sat. And then I started clicking only when she was sitting and looking at me both at the same time. And that's how I free shaped and trained the behavior. The next thing I did with Zoe was add a cue. So I would get her to sit on command. So get her to stand up. Zoe, come here. Sit. Good girl. So that way, adding a cue is just adding some sort of verbal or visual cue to the behavior. I started with saying the word sit whenever she was sitting and clicking and then treating. She already kind of knew sit, so it wasn't too hard to get her to get it, though she wasn't very reliable at it, whereas now she's extremely reliable at the behavior. The next thing I did was to target. So I got a dowel rod and put a piece of black cloth on the end of it. Zoe was at first terrified of it, but I did sit on the floor with her and click and treat whenever she got near it, and then whenever she touched it, and now she very eagerly touches it. She has been drawn to the black, which was I guess very contrasting from the dowel rod, so she naturally was drawn to the black end of it, and now I can get her to touch. And she touches the end of the target. So you touch. Good girl. So that was the targeting. I got her to, she will touch it pretty much anywhere you put it. So you touch. Touch. Good girl. Next I did partial reinforcement, which is basically not giving her a treat every single time she does something. So it would be like, so you touch. Good girl. I wouldn't treat her, but I would give her a cue saying that she did the right thing. Zoe, touch. Touch. She's gotten a little distracted. Hi, girly. Okay, Zoe, sit. Good girl. We'll do it with sit instead. Come here. Sit. All right, that was a twofer. So the first time I gave her a cue saying that she did the right thing. The second time I actually clicked and treat. You can do that with twos. You can do that every third time she does it, give her the treat. Or you can do variable reinforcement where you do an average of times. So maybe I do it on the second time one time, the third time the next time, and then the first time the next time. Keeps the dog on their toes, keeps them from getting bored with the training. Next is extinction. Extinction basically means getting rid of a learned behavior. So when I walk through the door, Zoe has learned to jump up on me. She gets excited and she jumps up on her back legs and jumps on me. So extinction, to extinguish that behavior, I could ignore her. That takes away the reward from the behavior. I could turn away and ignore her, and that would hopefully extinguish the behavior where she wouldn't jump on me anymore. Another way to kind of extinguish a behavior is differential reinforcement. Basically what you do is you substitute the opposite of a behavior and reward that. So when Zoe jumps up on me, Zoe, come here, come here. I would then click and treat when she sat. And that would hopefully discourage her from jumping up when she got excited, because I would then continue to train her that I would only click and treat her and she would get the treat when she sat. The next Different way of training is generalization. Dogs basically learn if you're standing up and you give this cue, the exact cue, that's the only way they learn it. If you sit down, if you go into a different room, they don't understand it as much. So I've practiced sitting with Zoe enough to where I can generalize it. Come here. Where I can go over here and I can go sit. Good. Or I can go into another room, get her to sit. It's just basically generalizing the behavior. I don't have to be standing. I don't have to go like this, and I don't have to say, Zoe, sit, which is what I had to do when I first taught the behavior. So the last behavior that I trained with Zoe is chaining a behavior. When you chain a behavior, you take multiple behaviors that the dog knows and chain them together under a new cue. So I taught Zoe how to jump up into the chair, and Zoe already knows how to sit. So then I chained the two together into chair. Zoe, chair. And then when she sat in the chair, I would click and change. And so she chained the two behaviors together.